This 100-year-old painting has been nicknamed the Welsh Mona Lisa, and this video could someday make it a bit more expensive. A major reason for its prominence is the rumors of a large face of Satan hidden in plain sight in the painting. To help you see it, I first have to explain something about human perception. There is a well-known psychological tendency called pareidolia that is defined as the perception of patterns and shapes within visual randomness and ambiguity. The scientific consensus is that such perceptions are simply hallucinations. Meanwhile, artists throughout history have concealed things in their paintings by exploiting this very assumption. About that Satan face. The artist is Sydney Curnow Vosper, and the painting is called Salem, which refers to a Baptist chapel called Capel Salem in the hamlet of Pentre Gwenfryn in Wales. This version of the painting is the more famous of two similar versions that the artist made. This here is the widely rumoured face of Satan in the woman's shawl. I don't personally find this very compelling because such forms do arise by accident, which is why I've assigned it a hunch confidence score of 25% out of a possible 100%. This score is an estimate of my personal, subjective certainty that the artist has intentionally included this hidden form in their painting. 25% means I'm not very confident that it was intentional. But what did the artist himself say about such speculations? In regards to the human-like demonic form, he wrote in a letter to the Lady Lever Art Gallery that, quote, "There has been quite a lot of correspondence from time to time in the Welsh papers accusing me of having put the devil in the picture, and asked me if this was deliberate on my part. Of course, it was not." He did, however, later admit to sneaking in a ghostly face in the window, and this is perhaps where all the rumours began. Naturally, I took a look at the window where I noticed this ghostly face that is fairly likely to be the one he said he deliberately included in the painting, although there are a few other candidates. And look at this strange bit of the windowsill. What is actually concealed here is the upper body and face of a child reaching out to their left. I find I'm a little more confident about this one because the windowsill looks off. It doesn't look natural, and that to me suggests possible intention on the part of the artist. Now here's a fun one I found. This distorted, moustached man's face becomes visible too. Is this a self-portrait of Sydney himself? Here is a bust of the man who also had a moustache. Surprisingly, Vosper removed this character from his second version of the same painting, which is an intriguing omission. Equally intriguingly, I spotted this small form of a dragon's entire body on the other side of this now famous shawl. I also noticed the very faint outline of the head of a serpent with a forked tongue and two reptilian eyes. There is also this sharp wedge of reflected light from the bench across its neck, which reminds me of Archangel Michael's defeat of Satan, who has been depicted as a snake in the Bible. And what else is Satan depicted as in the Bible? A dragon. So this video would become way too long if I were to cover everything I've spotted in this painting. It is worth noting that art scholars tend to dismiss the kinds of things I've pointed out today, and they may well be justified in doing so in most cases. After all, the confidence values I have provided are low, and academics tend to focus on things that yield higher levels of certainty. But it could also be the case that most scholars simply cannot perceive the kinds of hidden forms that pareidoliacs have pointed out in the past. You might assume examples like these are the exceptions to the norm, that most artists would never bother to conceal things in their art in such a way. My research, which fuses art, science, and religion, indicates otherwise. I've catalogued numerous hidden details that I've discovered in famous paintings, and left clues to them within the illustrations of this picture book for kids aged 4 to 8. It's titled Nicky's Secret, and it took me 7 years to develop, and the softcover edition is available in multiple countries. If there is an artwork you wish to have analysed, you can request a quote at hunchtrail.com. This kind of visual interpretation and analysis has the potential to drastically alter the valuation of a piece of art, and in some cases can provide clues to authorship and authentication. My research consultancy is available to clients in most countries, including the USA, the European Union, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.